In my mind, there was only one choice. I was going to go to college, and nothing would stop me. It wasn't because there was a long history of graduates in my family. I'd be the first to complete college. It wasn't because I had the emotional or financial support needed. The single mother who raised me did everything she could to send me to 2 years of Christian academy. The next leg of the journey, I'd have to navigate on my own. Her advice was I take another path. But there was a conviction inside of me from an invisible source outside of me that my life had a purpose that could make a difference for others, that I had work to do, words to speak that would find meaning in the hearts of those who would hear them. The next step was crucial. The most practical and influential voices in my family reminded me that this undertaking was unreasonable. Inside of me, there was more than a small amount of fear, but there's also another voice inside of me urging me to be calm. What I remember were the words, "Don't be afraid." Turns out I'm not the only one to have heard those words. Our first biblical hero in the Hall of Faith heard them too, though for him it wasn't through a still small voice inside, but in a bright vision of a conversation with God. It's right there in Genesis 15:1. "Don't be afraid, Abram." But I believe that for Abram, these words had less to do with what he saw and more to do with what he couldn't see. Have you ever tried to look into the future and all you could see was uncertainty? Uncertainty presents us with a choice among many paths. The fearful path can cause us to question every step we take and lead to paralysis. The fruitless path can cause us to think none of it matters. It doesn't matter what we do. No one's in control of our destiny. There is no grand plan. But if we choose to believe that there is a divine architect of our lives, one who loves and cares for us, we can walk paths of uncertainty and faith. The journey of faith isn't a cause and effect, predictable course. It's a journey of trust, especially in the one who calls us to believe. I think my mom was more afraid than I was. When we packed up the car for the 900-mile journey to Huntsville, Alabama, I didn't have sufficient funds to enroll, and she knew it. Yet she and my older sister loaded into the car to take the journey with me. Faith doesn't remove fear. It believes in the face of fear. Don't be afraid. After speaking these words to Abram, God did something that he doesn't normally do. God gave him a high-resolution view into his future. The promise that he'd been making to Abram would come to pass, but only after really difficult times. Faith doesn't resolve the need for courage. Trusting in God through uncertainty and moving forward in that trust is courage. By the time I arrived at the campus to register, God had opened the doors for me. And over the next 4 years, he provided me with job after job, sometimes 3 or 4 at a time. And God did bless me with a life of meaning and purpose. The promises God has whispered in your ear, the picture God has painted in your mind of your future, is on the other side of your journey of courage and belief. People who live like this are rooted in faith.